Yeah, there is a part 5 to the Spyderco catalog. And like I said, dudes, if we were hanging out in a room, we'd be talking knives, wouldn't we? So that's all we're doing here, is just talking knives. I was talking about the S, the one that's mimmed out, and I was telling you how you get all kinds of crap in here. Not just tactically, like in a tactical environment. This is not a tactical knife. This is just a kind of a gimmicky EDC knife. I shouldn't say gimmicky. That's not the word I'm looking for. But it's just a different EDC knife. But you get lint and everything else is going. I know from other handle designs I've had like this that have cutouts in them, you just get a lot of crap in there. Not huge to clean it. All you do is blow it out with compressed air once in a while. That works. But I'd have to look at these blades and see how sharp they are. What they probably are is they have a full flat grind on them, probably just like all of them. And if they have that, I'd probably be interested in them. So I might have been a little premature with the X. I need to check those out. Very intriguing. They use a 440C, probably because it mims better than the VG10. Lava, that's another stainless steel handled knife. And look how small that is, and yet it weighs 3 ounces. Remember I told you, anytime you get a stainless knife, it's heavy. So no, I'll never get a lava. What the heck? Look at this funky thing. The Captain. Now you guys might have one of these and totally dig it. There's so many issues I would have with this against this knife, it's not even funny. One is sharpening is going to be more difficult with that reverse curve. It's thick. It's also heavy, 4.75 ounces. It's just a weird design. You know, but I didn't put an X next to it because these are one of the things that oftentimes you have to see in person and actually use it before you really appreciate its capabilities. That might be this type of knife. I just don't know. I can pretty much guarantee you I'm not going to spend my money on it, though. Pretty much can guarantee you. Did a review on this knife. The outstanding Cali 3 in G10. Just awesome. And again, we go with the carbon fiber Cali 3. You'd think it'd be lighter like I talked about in part 4. It's not. Because he just put carbon fiber on it for looks. I mean, again, if you're going to go carbon fiber handle, Spyderco and or whoever else is watching, I mean, you know what they ought to do is, if they go carbon fiber on the handle, freaking do this to the liners. Mim it out so it is completely skeletonized. Then put your carbon scales on something like that. So yes, you have a metal structure underneath, but it is maximized for weight reduction. And do them, if you can, I don't know if the technology exists, can you do this to titanium? Now we're talking. Now we're talking. Now we're talking with a carbon fiber knife, super light, nice carbon fiber look to it, and yet it's also functional. So by the way, the Cali 3, go look at my video on that. It's one of my favorites. It's right here. Here it is. It's a Cali 3 in G10. Just a great knife. Little bit on the heavy side, a little bit on the heavy side. 3 ounces. Yeah, for me, for EDC, that's a little bit heavy. Not a showstopper, though. No, a lot of you guys dig that Tenacious. I know you do. And I don't blame you. I think the Tenacious is a lot of knife for the money. I think that 8CR 13 MOV steel is really good. It's analogous to the AUS 8 steel from the Japanese. So I think the steel is fine. They use it in their bird model knives. So I think it's fine. You can reverse the clip on it. It's got a great blade shape, good thumb jimping, G10 handles. But it's 4 ounces. That's not good. Now, how about it for tactical use? I think the Tenacious can serve. I mean, it's just about 3.5 inch blade, a little bit under. So for emergency tactical, I think it'd be fine. But I think the Tenacious is a lot of knife for the money. Now, why do I have an X next to it? It's just because, dudes, I got so many knives. You know, you got to draw the line somewhere. And I'm to the point now, unless a knife excites me and it gives me something I heretofore do not have, I generally don't get all up in arms about it and want to get it. Now, that's not to say I will never get one or do a Tenacious review. I've had requests for it already, but that's just what I'm thinking. Now, this knife, I can pretty much guarantee I'll never get the Phoenix. It just looks I don't like it. Just funky. I don't like looks, a funky knife just to impress my friends or whatever. I don't care about that. I want functional. Now, if it looks cool and it's functional, reference my SIG tack, not my SIG, but the SOG automatic knife review I did. That's a very good looking design, which is also functional. Then I'm interested, and I'm willing to spend my money on it. I'm not going to say this is not functional, but it's just a little bit out there for me. You know, it just doesn't strike me. But, you know, knives are personal taste items. You know, some of you guys will look at that and go, man, I need to have that knife. It's just too cool. And I understand that, because I'm sure there's a lot of blades I'm interested in that people look at and go, man, dude, you're retarded. Why do you want that? I have a couple Ladybugs. I should have put some check marks here. They're good keychain knives. They're super light if you get them in the Zytel version. And you remember I told you I had one of the stainless knives I got is the Ladybug in stainless. I have it. Still have it. And it's heavy for a little tiny knife. And you're saying heavy? It's only 1.2 ounces. Yeah, I know. But 1.2 ounces in a blade that size, that's substantial. Also, like I mentioned in another video, I forget what it is, I do not recommend doing what they're doing here, and that is hanging a lot of metal off your keychain. As you drive your car, you go over lots of bumps, and if you have flashlights and knives hanging from your keychain, it will wear your ignition lock out. Why do I know that? Because I did it. Had to replace it. Pain in the butt. Alright, that's a folders for Spyderco. This will be the last series, so I better keep cooking. And then we get, oh, I love these knives. This Salt 1 and Pacific Salt knives. I just love them. You see one right here. Here's your Salt 1. I'll do a review on that soon. H1 steel I'm a big fan of so far. I don't have a lot of experience with it, but I'm getting it more day by day. I just love them. And these harken back to the old Spyderco Endura designs before they put the nested steel liners in them. This is a Delica version. This is an Endura. And then they have a modified clip sheepfoot blade on. I'll talk more about that in reviews. Great knives. Love them. Love the weight on them. 2 ounces and 3 ounces respectively. And they come in 2 different colors in 2008. Black or yellow. That's cool. Then we get to the H1 versions of the rescue blades. Those are good. Inadvertent check mark. I do not own the H1 version. I have that 93mm version rescue. Great knives. They're the same versions, just in H1 steel. And we get Tasman Salt, Mariner Salt again with that funky hawkbill blade. I'm not a fan. And I will never get that knife. Or these knives. Caspian Salt. Just funkadelic. Funky for the sole purpose of being funky. That's what that strikes me as. And I don't go for knives like that. If you're going to be funky, give me something for it. Prove to me what that funkiness does for me. Prove to me what that does for me. I can tell you right now I won't like those handles. They're just not comfortable. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. You need to hold them in real life, I guess, you know. Aqua Salt, great knife. I have it. I'll do a review on that one. You'll see that, so I'm not going to talk too much about it. Great knife. Great blade shape, too. I love it. And an outstanding sheath in those Aqua Salt. And I think that's the future. The sheath and the method of clipping that sheath, just superb. Rock Salt, nope, won't get it. That's a big knife, 9.2 ounce. I'm just trying to figure out what the use of that knife in H1 steel would be. And for bush use, I do not like Kirky style blades, or, you know, the boa style blade, I'll call that. Not a big fan of those. Couple fixed blades here. Ooh, you'll see a review on this one. This is a Bill Moran. He passed away, sadly, but Bill Moran, I do have that knife. Great knife. Comes in a drop point blade. Look for my review in the future. Street Beat, and that's kind of a version of the Fred Perrin fixed blade. Great. I love the micarta handles. The only critique I'd give against this knife is a shorter blade, 3.5 inch. Street Beat, to me, indicates they're kind of intending it to be an undercover backup weapon. I want more reach instead of 3.5 inches. Run out of time, guys. Jerry Hawson blades. Those are kind of boa blades. Not interested. Their knives look cool. Those kitchen knives look nice. Guess what? Part 5. I'm done. That was a Spyderco 2008 product guide with a little bit of philosophy, maybe a lot of philosophy thrown in. Thanks for tuning in. Look for my reviews on those blades. Nutnfancy.